All right. Well, I'm not sure if anybody else is coming, but let's get going. So, gee, I have to try to fix it.
Yeah. Got no money.
Yeah, I gave up. I tried.
You tried this one? Or,
I mean, I tried to get it to work.
right.
Who knows?
Oh.
Okay, so today we're going to.
Turn your camera on.
Working? Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
Blinking.
That's fine.
Yeah, it's blinking. It's got me that way. I think it does. Yell if you don't see it blinking. Okay, so the if statement in C. So, in a lot of situations, even in your normal everyday life, right, you need to do different things depending on the circumstances.
Yeah.
And for C, in order to do that, you use something called an if statement. So I'll go over what the if statement is, logical operators that you use within the if statement, the if-else statement, talk about the curly brace, which you've seen many times already, but we're going to use it in a different context here. And then we'll go into some demo stuff and exercises. So remember the last time, you have to declare variables before you can use them. So there's stuff like int and double and char for characters. After they're declared, you can assign them some value, whatever it is. You can print them, and remember, equals is assignment, not equality. May look familiar. So, the if statement. So, sometimes we need to do different things depending on the values of the data. So, for example, you're buying some bananas, and the price is different depending on how many you buy. So the price per banana goes down if you get a whole bunch of them, right? It doesn't happen in Kroger, but wholesale, stuff like that, this is what happens, right? So, so in order to set the appropriate price, you need an if statement. Something like, if some condition is true, do something. And this syntax here is something you have to get used to. So this is a reserved word. You just use if all the time. You have parentheses. Doesn't matter if you have spaces here or not. So parentheses encloses the condition that you want to test whether it's true or not. And the curly braces, just like when we do int main, the curly braces contain a whole bunch of statements in C to do something. So curly braces, just like for your main program, the curly braces are organizing your code into chunks. And so, well, let's do an example. So let's say we have two variables, num bananas and price bananas. And the price for bananas is 25 cents each for fewer than 50, and 10 cents each for 50 or more. Silly example, but you know, gets the point across.
Got a fun story.
Yeah, exactly. Wouldn't that be nice? So, well, let's write some code to calculate the cost of buying some bananas. So, first, declare everything. So, number of bananas is an integer. You're never going to have 1.5 bananas. It's always going to be 1, 2, 3, or 4, something like that. Double, price for the bananas. So it's some number that has a fractional part. In our case, it's 0.25 or 0.1. Price in dollars. Then another variable, in this case, another real variable for the total cost of whatever it is we're trying to buy. So now, let's just set the number of bananas to 13, just for the fun of it, and then we'll figure out what the cost of that is using the rest of the code. So, if the number of bananas is greater than or equal to 50, and so this is this mathematical thing that you probably haven't seen in a while, but greater than or equal to 50, we'll set the price of the bananas equal to 10 cents. And here, if the number of bananas is less than 50, we'll set the price of the bananas to 25 cents.
Okay, what does the double part in, when you say double, up there in the other part?
Up here. Remember, double says that the variable we're declaring is a real number, so it has
Okay, so it has nothing
a fractional
to do with
part.
double.
Yeah, it's a silly term.
Okay.
A lot of these things are silly terms, left over from the old days. It stands for double precision, but that doesn't help.
I'm glad to know it stands for something, though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's kind of worthless. And again, it gets back to types, like we were dealing with last time, and there's all kinds of types. I presented the 3 basic ones, but there's probably dozens. So they each have their own silly names. So double, it's a real number with a fractional part to it. So okay, so we've set the number of bananas, we've figured out what the price is based on that number, and then down here we're going to calculate what the cost of buying those bananas is. So it's the number of bananas times the price for each of the bananas. And then down here we print how many bananas we're buying and what the cost is. Fairly straightforward. That makes sense. Okay. So, one of the big things that we're introducing here is these comparison operators. When you're doing an if, you're kind of like asking a question. And you need to be able to, for numbers, you need to be able to compare 2 numbers to each other. There's a bunch of different ways of comparing them. In this case, we're asking, is one number greater than or equal to another number? In the other one, we were asking, is it less than another number? And there's a bunch of other things you can do. You can just say greater than. You can say less than or equal to. You can say equal to. You can even say not equal to, which I didn't put up there. Seems kind of silly, but sometimes it's useful. And so these things are just shorthand for what we know as, this English, greater than or equal to, less than, all that stuff. So again, just like CHAR is shorthand for character, these are shorthand for these numerical comparisons. And you just get used to it the more you use it. So another thing about the if statement is the curly braces. We haven't used curly braces other than in int main anywhere in a program before. So in this case, the curly braces are here to take a whole bunch, in this case we have 1, but you could have any number of these C statements inside your if statement. So it's telling the C compiler, take all these C statements and make them only happen if this if statement is true. And one of the things that we do in C, and your editor will normally do if you hit tab, is to indent these kinds of things. So anything inside curly braces, like this if statement, it'll automatically indent it for you to kind of remind you that these things are special and set off from the rest of your code. So, curly braces, use to enclose a bunch of code. Just like in int main, same idea, but it's in if statement. In this case, we're only enclosing one statement, but there can be a whole bunch. Each of these statements, just like in int main, is executed in order if the statement is true. And none of these statements is executed if the statement is false. So it's like they aren't even there. So it's standard C convention to indent. This helps you just kind of see it more easily. So that's it for if statements. Any questions about if statements? That is the simplest overview of if statements. Okay, so log in. Let's write the program. thinking locking at the screen business.
I don't have my notes.
So, one way to deal with the different speeds of each of you, if you go to my website,
When I
You
start
can-
here.
get these view graphs,
Okay, okay.
and you can move on to the next view graph if you're sitting here waiting. And my website is www.umish.edu / and then tilde, LEP, /EROG.
Me again.
And this is day 4.
And this is the part that I want to be able to repeat every day.
Yeah,
Is that right?
that's right. That's right.
Okay, I was waiting on something to happen.
No, usually when you do things right, the computer doesn't change.
I just thought a different line was supposed to come up.
And remember, prog1.c space and. Not the and, you're going to be annoyed later. So there's the program. And remember, prog1.c is not part of the program. Yeah.
Is the curly brace and the curly brace? Is that right?
So, well, what?
There's a left curly brace and another left curly brace.
Yes, that's true.
Where?
After INT main, there's a left curly brace.
And then there's
Yes.
And then there's another left.
Yes.
And then under F there's another left.
And
Yes,
that's true.
yes, definitely.
Okay.
So, this curly brace and this curly brace enclose all the
Gotcha.
statements in main.
It knows to do that
And
inside.
this curly brace and this curly brace enclose all the statements in that if.
Okay.
And these two enclose
Where does this
that
curly
if.
brace go?
So,
Didn't look right, but I trust you.
yeah, so that's the idea. Each of these curly braces is matched and is enclosing code that is related to what's coming in front of it.
And
So,
your editor will match those, and if they're not matched, it'll color them so that you can see they're not matched.
Gotcha.
yeah.
I put the paper over it and still use it.
So we have perhaps a bunch more ifs here than we normally would, but getting you used to it.
This paper doesn't matter. I keep just knocking it out of the way.
Well, it was worth a try.
I'll figure out something.
We're already compiling.
Do I space run?
No. Just stop flash.
Are these spaces, or am I making them spaces?
Okay.
And I know that's.
It works.
But we do not know, we have not told us what that means yet, right?
The stdio.h? Not yet.
Making sure I.
Yeah, not yet. Yeah. One must spend annoyance for a little while longer. I know it's very annoying.
No.
soon. Everywhere. Effective declaration or statement at end of input. Line 13. Where's line 13? Oh, I see. Right there. So, there's a half of an end curly brace, if you can't see it, way at the bottom. There you go. That one more. Whoops. Well,
trying to be so smart today, and I got my little cheat sheet.
you can have it on the line if you want, just bring up the browser. Better than nothing if you want, but whatever. Whatever works. So how we doing? Jen's already on to the next one? Yeah. Go to it.
Okay. I know I did something. I need to save it, right?
You've got A greater than 1 twice.
Where?
A less than 2, A greater than 1, and then you got A greater than 1 again. So you can get rid of that line.
Oh. Wait, okay.
I had one error, and then while trying to fix it, I got two errors.
2 more, yeah.
Okay.
I had that happen last time.
Yeah, it
A
can
is
be
less than 2.
disheartening at times.
A is greater than
I
1.
understand that.
Oh, I put it in there
Okay.
twice. But I didn't
Find the reference to print.
I need to
Okay,
get rid
so
of this.
print needs to be
Oh.
print F.
Yeah.
Get rid of what? This one, because I did it
And
twice.
then
Oh, okay.
return.
You just hit
Try delete.
delete.
Yep.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
I keep telling you, only because you guys walk over to the computer.
That's one of the laws
Do
of
I?
computers,
But now I
you
got an
know.
extra line there. Do I?
Okay,
Do I
how we
need to
doing?
have that line gone? Like the
This should be matched up with
You're already on
this
prog two.
curly brace. So this,
Indeed.
yeah, should be matched
Okay.
up with the curly brace. And no, the blank line doesn't
That's
matter.
Prog 1.
The blank line won't matter at all. You can put blank lines in at will.
Yeah,
So-
blank lines don't matter.
now I save, right?
Uh-huh.
Yes, definitely save.
Stop.
Things still on?
Yep.
It is.
Save, and then I gotta go.
Okay, so I guess a lot of you have already seen
Okay,
the
wait.
results.
No.
No?
I just got the program thing typed in. I'm supposed to be over here doing something. I
Okay,
saved
did
it.
you save it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
so the
do-
next step is to compile.
Yep.
Right, do run. Am I supposed to type this compile? I'm not supposed to type that part.
No.
You don't
No.
type the RUN colon. That's
Yeah,
just
just the dot.
Yeah.
saying
Oh.
what that means.
Just GCC is all I managed to.
Okay, so, yeah, there you go.
I won't delete it.
You have to backspace somewhere. Okay, there you go.
There you go.
Okay.
Here's here. Function A. Oh, comes off the
So you just want to make sure all
Definitely,
your,
definitely.
Oh, okay.
I can't do curly braces. I didn't do studio this time. It was my.
no, not studio, this time it's standard IO. Just make sure all your curly braces match.
This last one.
Who's on your teacher? Mine says Moses Flowers.
Nope.
Uh-oh.
No, this thing, because you started this one open,
Prog 2.
so you did all these closed, open, closed, but this one hasn't been closed yet. So you need to put one more
Oh,
down.
not
That one is.
I can do that again. Nope, that just closes this
This one
statement.
closes
Right.
So
that.
I gotta go down one more again?
One more and do one more.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
looks like you wrecked anything. So, yeah.
But it needs to be over there, doesn't it?
Did you see how it matched it when you did that? It went up to this one
It's
Okay.
not happening.
to say, hey, you match.
Okay.
Okay, but is it in the right spot?
It
It's not
is.
lined
Yep.
up, okay.
So don't forget to save.
Where are we? Let's see.
And I gotta go back and do the GCC thing
Here's
again.
budget one and blah, budget cost is less than budget. So this one is messed up.
Okay. That's her running it.
Okay, without saying run.
If it doesn't complain, that's good.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
All right, so everybody's passed Prog 1? All right, we'll put up Prog 2.
So do I start up here?
So,
just
in
say
Prog 1,
Prog
we just
2.
got
Yep.
used to typing such things in and seeing what happens. Prog 2, we're going to try to do something a little more practical. We have 2 budgets that we can charge something to. Which one should we charge something to? Which one has enough money in it, basically, to charge to?
You don't need a program, we just call Jen and ask her.
So while this is all hard-coded numbers and everything, in reality, you'd be reading this from some file somewhere, and this would then execute, and you'd say, oh, okay, I need to get it from that particular budget instead of the other one. Yeah. So there's homework there. I think that's the last exercise, the demo, whatever the heck I'm calling it. No, there's more, there's more.
So go to this
I
one?
can't remember. Sure, go to the next one. Yeah, definitely. Understand what you do. That's always important. Nice to just get used to typing it in, but
Bill.
very small. So, does anybody know what this double slash thing is with dollars after it? Anybody have any idea what that is? Something I didn't mention yet, and something that you will be using more and more of as things go by. This double slash basically says anything after this, ignore it. And why would you want to do that? Because these are what you would call comments. These are things that you can read and the compiler ignores. And in this case, I'm saying that the units of that number are dollars. And the compiler could care less, right? But as humans, we need to know it's dollars, thousands of dollars, millions of dollars. It could be any of these things. It could be cents. It could be tenths of cents. It could be anything, right? It could be kopecks, whatever. So it's good to know what the units are when you do this kind of stuff. And so we give ourselves a comment. And we'll be doing more comments as time goes by.
Does the spacing matter?
Well, fiddle and see. Some
No, I'm
places
just
it does,
looking.
some places it doesn't.
Because after cost, after the slash, there's no spacing.
And
The other one's
you're
what?
welcome to fiddle with that.
I don't want to fiddle because then it starts again.
Why do we need a period after the number? 100 period.
We don't.
Period. Okay.
The one thing that I have learned over the years is that it's always good to be careful in your code when you're dealing with different types. And so whenever I assign a real number like this, to a real number variable, I always try to make sure it really is a real number. So if I didn't have the period, it would be an integer. And I didn't explain this. But without that period, the compiler sees that as an integer. And I try to avoid setting integers to reals and reals to integers and stuff like that. So I always use the period for expressing real numbers, even if it doesn't have a fractional part. And it doesn't really matter because...
You could have assigned it to be not an integer though, right?
What do you mean?
Well, earlier you assigned it whether it's an integer or a real number.
That's right. And in this case, everything is kind of integers, so maybe it doesn't really matter. But I figure since it's really dollars,
Yeah.
you know, we want to be able to have dollars and cents, so I'm going to make everything be doubled so that it can have both the integer part and the fractional part.
Okay.
But I didn't have to in this case.
But just to clarify, you do the period there for yourself.
For myself.
The compiler knows that it's a real number.
That's right.
Because
We build it.
whether you put the period there or not, the
Well-
compiler is going to know it's a real number.
The compiler knows that this is an integer, and it's going to know to convert it to a real number when it
Because we,
assigns it to that, because that has to be a real number.
right, we build it, yeah.
Yeah, so like we've done in other things, we've assigned real numbers to integers. You can assign integers to real numbers, and the compiler knows what to do.
Okay.
But I try not to have it do such things. I can help it. Yeah,
Why does the result of something zeros after that?
good question. And that's something that is part of the homework.
No, I in the wrong.
Generally speaking, this %f thing here has a default number of digits that it spews. And wherever the decimal point is, that doesn't matter that much. It'll have, I think, 7 or something digits
Yeah.
that it tries to display. And that's because it doesn't know what you want,
Shoot.
but it does know that numbers that are declared double are actually accurate to some number of digits. And so it spews a bunch of those because it doesn't know what you want. In advanced usage, you don't just use a %f if you care how many of these digits it prints. And I haven't gone into it, but there is a way of fiddling with this so that you tell it how many digits you want it to print. And that's in the homework if you ever have time to do the homework. So you can control it ad nauseum.
Sure, okay.
And similarly with anything else that you print, you can control the number of characters basically that's going to be coming out.
This is frog 2.
So, two very good questions.
Did we call this frog?
Any other questions?
I called it 2, right?
Yeah.
So how are we doing? Everybody past this yet?
Oh, you didn't take it?
Almost?
What did I do?
I just said you accidentally added
Oh.
the 2 down there, but you didn't save it.
I didn't
so you're
save
fine.
it. Okay.
Yeah, that
Okay,
can be
I
annoying.
lost my space.
Typing into the wrong window.
2. Dot C. Oh, it didn't give me a error.
You
So
did?
now I'm supposed to
Gee.
do
Gee.
the dot slash thing.
What is up with that?
And
And
you
it's
gotta,
not even
you gotta learn to
anywhere
pay
near it.
attention. It yelled at you, command not sound.
Well, no, at first it's...
It does, it yells.
That's the worst part, is trying to get everything in. Last time I kept spelling studio, because my mind was saying,
Well, there are
that's
ways
studio,
actually
that's
of
studio. Then I try to focus on that and I
defining
missed something else.
GCC if you want.
Oh. Then I would,
I have-
remember GPC.
I have several things that I constantly misspell that I have defined as misspelled versions so that I can still do it.
It should be like Word tells you that you
Because I just do it all the
spelled
time.
wrong.
You just use another environment than your code.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's very annoying. You gotta redefine everything everywhere you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so has everybody passed this? Did they get it to work? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so, yeah, we get these huge number of zeros. You know, it doesn't know it's dollars and cents. It just knows it's some stupid number. So, it prints a whole bunch. And so, if we want just dollars and cents, it's going to be advanced. So, for now, here's an example where you can actually take your previous program and make one slight change and then just call it prog 3 if you want. So here, all we're going to do is instead of having two ifs, we're going to have this else thing in the middle. And so the else thing lets us say, okay, in one situation do this, in every other situation do this other thing. Before we had two ifs that defined those two situations explicitly. In this one, all we do is we define one situation, and then everything else gets done at the else. So, yes.
Okay, so I ran them both, but I'm just curious, if the cost, say, like, was a different cost, obviously, and
Sure.
in the first one you only had the two scenarios, if it wasn't relevant to either of those scenarios, would it let you run it?
It would. So let's say we screwed up, and here we have a greater than, let's say here we did a less than. So we don't have the equals case dealt with. So let's say it actually is equal to budget 1. So this wouldn't be true, this wouldn't be true, wouldn't do either one of these, and that would just print. So it would do something really stupid.
Okay. That's what I was
Which is why we want to do the else. This way, we have to be very careful to make sure that each of these covers every case. And this, we make sure we have one case covered, and then every other case, this happens, no matter what. So that way we cover every case with an if-else, like this. And that's really important in programming. If you don't cover every case, your program is likely going to screw up sometime. Because it'll be reading from some spreadsheet, all this, in reality. And, you know, there'll be numbers in there that occasionally will be outside of whatever you thought of, and then the whole thing gets screwed up. So, having if-elses will help prevent that. Especially when you have more than one if.
Did you take this? Did you take this
There's
line
tons
off?
of ifs in any
You
field
added the else
situation.
and then took this off?
Yeah.
If it's a research incentive account, if they had more than one copy they made in the past quarter,
Then I need to
if
remove
this other, you know, a bunch of ifs. And they all have to be true
Yeah,
for you to end up
budget 2,
doing something,
budget
whatever it is.
1.
Yep.
And then if you don't have all
Oh,
those
no,
other
no, no.
situations in there,
Okay, wait. The 150.
the program won't
If
be doing
cost
the right
budget
thing.
thing. That's a budget 2. Oh, yeah, okay.
If else
And
is
then
a really
budget
important thing.
1. Oh, he
And-
moved it.
And again, it should produce the same
Here,
result as
I
the
have-
first one.
Okay.
So, I don't know if any of you have
Can-
moved on to this one yet.
I'm verifying my
Uh-oh.
thing. Budget. And her screen just went blank.
I think I did something.
Always something. I didn't have it. So this doesn't look like it's on. I think it maybe got unplugged. Let me see. Always something.
Then did I just save it as program 1? Program 3?
Did it come back? No.
Yeah.
Yes, there it is.
Thank you.
Okay, Leland, so
Alright.
after I edited it,
Yeah, you can save it as prog 3.
And-
Save as instead of just save.
Okay, I'll just change this to prog 3 to a 2, from a 2 to a
So it's real easy to create another version of a program that way.
I gotta go over here. Come on. Why?
Cool.
There we go. Okay. We're gonna do the GCC thing.
So we're slowly getting to the point where we can actually do something worthwhile with, say, one of these spreadsheets that are so common. And dealing with either the character variables in the spreadsheet or the numbers, and doing different things in different situations, depending on what's in there. So, the next time, we're going to learn how to read stuff from files, so that eventually we can actually read, say, something from a CSV, which you can easily export from one of these Excel things. And then you can fiddle with it, and then suck it back in. And we won't deal with reading directly from Excel. And that is a horrible thing that I will never contemplate doing in my lifetime. So, everybody has this working? Carla?
Yeah.
Done?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So, exercises. We now have ways of combining a test. So let's say you want to know if A is less than B and A is less than C. The double and sign can do that for you. The double bar thingy there can do an OR function instead. And you can combine these so that you can have
So it wasn't
a
C.
fairly messy
Right, I know it wasn't, but I didn't
if statement if you want.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, for example, in this case, you could have something where, I don't know, nationality is U.S. and salary is less than $50,000, something like that. And then you do something with people in those situations. And you do something else with people in other situations. So this is an important ability to be able to combine these things, to be able to have it in just one if statement. So how are we doing? Yeah. Haven't started. So, is this one too hard? I have no idea.
to be typing that?
This is an exercise. This is me telling you what I want without telling you how.
I have no idea.
So, the first thing you need to do is define variables.
Which would be the...
So what variables do you need to define in order to make this something you can write?
need to...
The salary one, yes.
Salary would be good.
The tax rate. Something making...
Tax rate would be another good variable. Yep.
New program 4.
Call it what
Or
you
we're
will.
just typing it.
I'm going to try not to tell you everything. You can call it anything you want, as long as it's different. I figured this was appropriate for tax season, right?
Taking time to... It's so simple. I wait every year.
Ah, yes.
for that. Where'd it go?
And of course, thank goodness, these are not our tax rates.
Oh, it seems like they're that bad.
So how many? Double salary, double tax rate. Can't have spaces in variable names, so I suggest an underscore instead.
Okay.
Can't have commas in numbers.
Two. I have no clue at all.
So I can do,
You good? Yes.
No, it's going to be double
Definitely.
something. Double. We were trying to find.
so you can enter all of, like, I have to enter, what, like, what is it? Tax rate.
Yeah. Each one of those numbers, each one of those ranges is an if statement. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of annoying. So you can either use numbers in your if statement, or you can make all those things into variables if you want. It's probably easiest just to leave them as numbers for now.
Okay.
And note that
So that's to have.
I was a little sloppy in my description of these.
Leland, tell me if I'm headed down the wrong road.
You don't know them. Yeah, that looks
There's
good.
3 variables there, A, B, and C. Then I got A represents something. B
Right,
represents
and it's-
something, and C represents.
And it's always good to choose a name for the variable that's suggestive of that something. So,
So I should be putting.
so like salary is a good name for a variable. Tax rate is a good name for a variable in these situations.
Okay, I got double A, right? But A has to be something.
You can use A all you want.
No,
I
but
highly recommend it
I know,
being something
but I
else.
shouldn't put A in.
Right, don't
But
do that.
when I go back to do the if, whatever I put as A should be there, not the A that
Definitely.
you have up there.
Definitely.
Okay.
So, yeah, exactly. So it's if variable name less than some value,
I need a third variable.
and then do
I got
something.
taxes, and I got the salary. Year. Is it year? Because you got a year.
Yeah, it's 50,000 per year. You probably don't.
Need the year.
You probably
Okay.
don't need the year. It's more of a, thousands of dollars per year is the units of the variable,
The salary is.
and you
less
can make
than
it part of the name of the variable. if you want.
percentage. Salary percentage, and now I lost my other one.
Yeah, so there's salary,
Percentage and tax rate. No,
there's salary, and then there's tax rate, or percentage, or whatever you want to call it.
but I need a C.
Those are pretty much it.
Okay, well, what's the C then?
I don't think you need C.
Okay. You take your word for it.
Pretty much it's just those two variables.
Okay.
And you're going to be comparing the salary to these numbers here in order to come up with the tax rate.
I am not going to be able to figure this out. We'll see.
So how we do that?
So, investor statement, does that statement work? Oh, yeah,
Yeah, so, I mean, there's.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty close. Tax rate equals 35 should probably have a semicolon after it. And then a carriage return So the curly brace is on its own line after that if. Yeah, that'll do it.
Do these colors mean anything?
The colors do mean something.
Because I
Um,
keep trying to, I'll just call it
For
text.
now, just be happy that they're different colors and that they kind of highlight
Okay.
certain kinds of things about the code.
Can I not,
Eventually, we can explain
can
them
I
all.
not have like two
You
words?
can't have spaces. But you can have,
Oh, that's
you can
why
have,
it's going.
you can have an
Oh,
underscore.
okay.
An underscore is good for separating words.
Okay. Now I
in
have
variable
to,
names.
now that I gave it I have to do something like
Yeah,
this here.
so perhaps set the salary equal to 50. Since that's the
Oh,
example here, the
okay.
salary for this person's going to be $50,000 per year, but 50. Exactly. Perfect.
Okay, I'm dumb again, okay. Do I have, because I put something here, like, they put here budget and cost.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I had to put something,
You don't
Well,
have to assign something for tax rate yet,
okay,
because you don't
But
know what
I-
it's going to be.
okay,
But you do have to put a semicolon at the end of your statement.
oh. And I'm not gonna finish it.
Well, you're doing good.
So this is the point where I do my if
Now you got to
statement?
do a bunch of ifs, exactly, to figure out which...
And I gotta use all of those four down there?
You got to check against each of those four. That's right.
Yes. Oh, I'm in the wrong thing here. Yes.
But all the way to that is the amount of the salary. And then based on the output.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yes, salary. Yes, salary. Less than.
I got to get a picture of this. I bet we're moving.
Okay, Leland.
Any thoughts?
Okay, I'm gonna say if salary is less than 20,
Yep.
and then I'm gonna put it in a little bracket thing and then do this,
And
and then
then-
go down here
And
and
then
put
do something.
0%, somehow put the
Yeah,
percentage.
somehow say tax
Okay,
rate
great.
equals 0.
Okay.
But make sure, if you're going to do that, make sure that's actually less than, if you're going to do
Oh,
salary less
that
than.
says greater than.
Right now, that's greater than. And I know it takes getting used to for folks who don't do math. So
I do math, I just put the wrong symbol in
Yeah,
there. I tutor math, actually, so
Good.
it's just brain
Yeah.
damage is what it is.
Well,
If salary is less than
yeah, typing what you mean is sometimes difficult.
20,
That's how we're doing.
where's the little curly thing?
Close. So, tax rate is, and then you want to print a number. So, in the string, you want to have that percent S saying, I want to print a number there. Then,
Tax
later on, after the string, you'll have a comma, and then you'll have the variable that actually gets printed.
underscore rate
Alright, so look at these guys.
equals
The variables come last.
0.
Percent S are inside the string.
So I need to have pretty much account, account for everyone that I've done in this statement. And then then what?
All you want to do is you want to print your tax rate. So, you want to say tax rate is, and then a number. So, tax rate is percent S, \n,
Because,
double quote.
because what I want to be thinking.
That comma, and then the variable tax rate.
So you're focusing that.
Oh, and then that's.
So that will print the tax rate where the percent F is. Right? The tax rate is, yeah, that's good enough.
And the tests are to help you.
So and now, comma, and then the actual variable tax rate. And you end the print F.
So think about it.
How do I do a range? Do you say a range in there?
And then end the range.
How did you do your range, like 20 to
That looks
40?
reasonable, yes. How we doing on this one? Yeah.
What is
Like I gotta put an if statement for each one of those
GCC
little lines.
stands for the GNU C
So 20,
compiler.
how do you do 20 to 40?
If that helps at all. I don't know.
Right.
Like if you say if it's in the range. Oh,
Okay.
I think I put it. Okay, never mind.
We redid everything. Yeah, right.
Right.
So how we doing? Right. So look up here. You want to do something that's got two things to it. You put the and in the middle. Right, right. Right. You want a single
I think I
if
figured it out.
Yeah, but
that
I did
says,
this exact same
okay,
thing.
Okay.
between that and
You
that.
want to make sure
That's what you
you
want
put
to be able to do.
salary
Single
before
if.
this.
Oh, salary
That's why you
before
have
the
Yeah.
less than.
Yeah. So I just
Two
did
here,
the same, it was like,
and in between. Well, this first, neither of these ifs is actually doing anything, right?
40
Take a look at this. It has the parentheses at the beginning and the end, right? So you don't have any parentheses.
Am I supposed to
And then
put
have a
these
curly
little
brace.
things here?
Or you can assume it's greater than.
And it normally has this curly brace here. And then it has
Okay,
a
so
statement
salary
that
is
it
less.
needs to execute. And then maybe it ends
Sometimes
another
it's
curly brace.
different.
Okay.
So you're missing the parentheses and the curly brace.
Well, less than zero. Right, less than zero. Yeah.
Oh, I'm supposed to put a curly brace here after this, I think.
So how we doing? Tax rate's 30. So let's put salary greater than 40, less than 60, greater than 20, less than 40,
After each
greater than 60.
thing, you have
Okay,
to,
so you want to assign,
let's try something.
you want to do salary and you want to do
Let's,
you want to make sure
right
you
here, let's
assign
put your salary
And
to
then,
the,
Okay.
because
40.
this person is making $50,000, you assign salary $150. And I just put $1,000 regular because it says $50,000. That's
That's what it's like.
Do I have to use compiler?
You bet, you have to recompile and all that
And
stuff.
then you want to know.
Change the
that
code.
between- And you know yours is in here, 40 to 60. So you really know what the answer is going to be, but you just want to program it to do that.
Okay, so if salary
So, does that make sense?
one
No.
is less than 20,
So what
and
happens?
if salary one is
You,
greater.
you can ignore the one, it's
Okay.
just salary, that's just what I named my variable.
that line.
Okay.
So it's like salary is less than 20, then tax rate would be 0. And salary is less than 20, and salary is great, or,
There's two
and
that
it's less than
it
40,
involves.
it's going to be 20.
No, no.
Okay, can I
Less
just
than.
look at my response?
Here's the
Right,
thing.
sorry.
I can do a greater
I have breakpoints at
than.
20,
If salary
40, and 60.
Right, okay.
I need to make sure that my if statement covers every single number. So if I do
Oh, I see.
less than for that, then I'd better do a greater than or equals for that. And then I'd better do a greater than or equals for him.
Okay, that's
And then I'd better do a greater than or equals for him.
Okay.
Otherwise, I miss the 20, the 40, and the
I'll
60.
just name it tax rate instead.
So, fiddle and see what you get.
So it says less than 20, and then it says 20 to 40.
Yeah, so notice I was vague here.
Less than 40.
I never said greater than or equal to anything.
I probably should reverse that.
Okay, I got it, but it went straight from this to this.
Ah, you forgot the backslash n.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
is that.
Okay.
Okay,
That looks right though, other than that.
okay, can you make sure I'm going down the right path?
That looks pretty good, except the syntax is not quite right. Here, you need to end your statement with a semicolon,
Oh, okay.
and
I
you
was
don't
wondering
need a
where those-
paren, and you don't need a curly
Okay,
brace
right, you're
there.
talking too fast.
Yeah,
Okay.
so get rid of those last two characters, and just replace them. You can get rid of that one too. And then,
Get rid of what, the
yeah,
other curly?
you don't need that paren.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The paren is at the beginning and end of the if.
Oh, that's where the other one
That
was.
if
Yeah, I
thing.
already put it in there. Okay. There's, on the second line, there's no parentheses.
And so the same with this one, that should just be a semicolon instead of those two things.
That didn't do it.
Get rid of that one. And now, okay. And then you
Is
need,
that right? I need
and then you need
semicolon
the end and then you need the end curly brace to finish that up.
Okay.
And then, yeah, and then you just keep doing that.
I got
Let's see,
the last
it's
one
1, 2,
above
3,
60K.
so one more, yeah. Almost.
Where we go?
This was a tough one.
It was.
I did the _n, it's still doing,
Did you recompile?
oh,
Did
no.
you save and recompile?
I didn't recompile.
It's always important. Well, you'll note that I was pretty sloppy. I did not say if 40 was part of the 20 or part of the 30.
Right.
And so you kind of have to decide for yourself which one it belongs in, because I was so messy. And that's a standard problem with people defining how programs should work. And you've got to be very aware of that kind of thing going on. And make sure you deal with it. So it's standard. The definition
Okay.
won't
Now I have to
be
do the print.
precise enough. And you have to make it precise when you write your program.
And a lot of times you have to figure out what they want before you can make it precise.
Yeah.
Or
Okay,
you
now,
just
when you
don't
got
to
the
say
if
you're
part.
wrong.
So what did I want? Yeah. Is
Is
40
that where I'm
supposed to be in the
supposed to
20%
say?
or is it supposed to be in 30%?
If,
I have no idea, actually.
okay,
I just
wait,
made it
not
up.
the if
It doesn't
part,
really matter.
the print F
But,
part.
you know,
Mhm.
it'll matter when you pay your
So,
taxes.
I have to use salary.
And
print
they've
F,
been doing this for years, so
whatever.
they're precise, unlike me.
Salary, I don't know what that line is supposed to be.
That's just what you wanted to read
You figured it all out.
when you actually make it on the program.
Yeah, print F.
Still haven't quite figured it
Well,
out.
40, 20, and 30, you know.
Exactly. Exactly. Which one is it?
My thing is the wrong
But it
direction.
did work when I figured it out.
It's something, just be
So, I
aware
have to
of.
use salary, I'm guessing.
Yep.
Salary,
I hope it's getting slightly more practical.
I'm in the wrong thing again.
Cool.
If salary.
Anybody need help?
Yes, I'm trying to figure out my print F line.
And you gotta go. All right.
I know I start there.
So maybe I decide.
If salary,
Ah,
is that correct? If salary is something,
okay, go.
I don't know.
Well, you know
So,
the person has a
going back to,
$50,000 salary.
Oh, I didn't even go up there.
Other
Yep.
pretext.
If
So-
salary 50,
So I, yeah,
equal 50.
you could do that. I mean, you can really make it say, this part isn't gonna be read by the computer, so it really doesn't matter, it's just whatever you wanna see. So you could be like, the tax rate for this person is, tax rate per person making this is going to be, because it's gonna print the tax rate.
Okay, so print,
Tax rate is, given.
Yeah, so tax rate is,
should I use 50 or I can use anything?
Well,
and then
the salary
the
is,
number.
Okay.
that's what you're trying to figure out, what the tax rate is going to be with, for this person whose salary is
Yeah,
$50,000.
so
Okay.
that thing, exactly.
So I wanted to print,
Yeah, then let's have a
do I want to
line
say salary
character,
first or tax rate?
backslash in, yeah.
I would say tax
Okay.
rate.
Okay, because
Because
I'm trying to
that's
figure
what
out the
you
tax.
print.
Ooh, I just hit
And string with another double quote. And a comma,
That's what I
and
wanna
the
know,
variable
right?
you
Yeah.
actually want to print.
tax underscore rate.
Well, so far, your descriptive string says
I don't
tax
know,
rate.
it's my brain is dead.
That's okay.
Tax rate, I wanted to print the tax rate.
Yeah.
So shouldn't I say something else besides
That'll
print
do it.
tax rate?
And main with a
I-
curly brace.
What you're printing, it doesn't really mean you're printing. So it's,
I mean, what my output, what I want to know what the tax rate is.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So I would say tax rate for a person who makes 50,000, and then print tax,
okay.
because that's what you're trying to figure out.
So I want to say tax rate, but then there's something salary equals 50.
I mean, you could say tax rate for someone with.
No, I'm just trying to figure out what actually do I put in there.
Yeah, that's the thing. You don't have to make an equation in this print.
You know, like say I'm looking at here, and this is what I want to do, the remaining dollars in
Yeah.
the budget, and da 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 da.
I know.
So, my brain is not telling me how to write that.
Okay.
That's where I'm lost.
I know. That's what I'm trying to help with. Okay, so you want to say tax rate of.
So I guess that you're using like words.
You
and I
only
guess
need words, because you're just reading it. You know, like I have tax rate for someone who makes 50K a
Just
year.
to see my vision is not very good. Tax rate
No,
for
no, no, no.
someone
Just
making.
click on it and it'll tell you what line.
Click on what?
Because you're printing the tax rate. And then,
Okay, I thought.
so you can speak in English in the print, is, you know, it's whatever you want to read it
Salary,
as.
less than blah, and revenue blah. Okay, so let's see here, you need to have salary both places. And click on
Oh.
salary there.
Tax rate for 50K salary.
Bring over right brother. Yeah.
Okay, I used the salary and the tax rate already in my little sentence thing. And then I'm trying to figure out where I do all this little percentage stuff. Salary,
So you can just go ahead and put an equal sign and then do your percent F.
And start it up again, and notice it'll be in the right mode.
when you say, then you just say percentage F?
I know how to do it.
Because that's what it's printing. The percentage F is going to be the tax rate. It's just going to print that number.
So what does, I have to do what does the N mean? What
That,
does this N
that
actually
means you want to do that after. You want to do a /N because it's going to print a separate line after.
Okay, I remember, I think I asked them that
Yeah.
question before.
Alright, zero.
But I want to say something about
No.
salary again.
No. You want
I'm
to
done?
put quotation marks
Okay.
You haven't set a value
and
of
then
salary.
just close them up. And then you want to make sure it prints what you want it to print. So you got to put a comma and then, nope,
50,000,
don't.
right? Yeah, you
Not
have to
yet.
Put a value for salary, so you're gonna.
Yeah, you got to put a comma because you want it to print your tax rate. So you want to type in tax for your variable.
50,000, whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. I just started with 50.
Yep. Then you can close it up.
So this after you put in what you're trying to get,
Yep. Make
you have
sure
to put your variable,
Yeah.
the actual output thing that you
Mhm.
want. And then I gotta put another,
Still zero.
little curly thing.
50,000.
I got a what you call it there, I got a what you call it there, I got a what you call it there. I don't have one there, I need one there.
Alright, gotcha.
Nah, I didn't ask for anybody.
I spelled print right, I called it tax rate, I
Didn't
called
spell
that tax
studio,
rate.
studio?
No, okay. Did I,
Why isn't this working?
did I capitalize anything? No, I didn't. I spelled everything.
Well,
Did I call? Yeah, I did. Era, expected declaration or statement in Now, when it says declaration or statement input, does that, should it direct you to a certain space you should be looking, or you just have to look over the whole thing?
Number.
Oh,
You see it?
I do. So there's two things. So, actually, there's only one thing. So, basically, all of your if statements have to be enclosed with curly brackets.
Oh.
So you need an open and a close on all of them.
Curly bracket. Oh, curly bracket, curly bracket.
Mhm.
Curly bracket, curly bracket.
Mhm.
No curly bracket. I caught that other thing, and I missed the curly bracket. Just the print
So-
F doesn't open with the curly?
No,
bracket.
this curly bracket goes to this one up here.
Yeah.
Bash.
So that is good.
Yeah.
Can't have spaces or it doesn't work.
Well, one
Gives you
time it
nothing.
doesn't care, Beth doesn't care about those.
As long as, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it'll interpret it if it's not close.
Okay.
Well, that's a good thing.
No complaints.
Backslash, oh, I thought I had it, frog, it was simple. These things that we keep doing here over and over.
Mhm. You getting them down?
Yeah, but I'm saying, is that something that's standard, or is something for the class?
2,000.
It's more for the class. There are
And
shortcuts.
this is
There you
20
go.
to 40.
So, I mean, if I were to
40 to 60.
play like one of you guys.
That should
There's,
be
I'm gonna
there's
do
a
that
lot of
program.
shortcuts. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but without, even if we're doing this like longhand
Uh-huh.
or whatever,
Oh.
we don't know the shortcut. Would these be
You
would
would,
we be saying this GCC?
you would do this, exactly what you're doing.
Mhm.
The only difference
Okay,
is
try that.
I would do it with a shortcut, so that I wouldn't have to type the whole thing over and over again.
But that's one of those things, like I keep telling her,
All right.
spell or word, do we do this? Because I'm so familiar with
Right.
this, and
You'll
it's
learn
a
it.
shortcut.
You'll learn it
Okay.
eventually.
But without, if I were like, when I'm tutoring my math people, I won't let them use the calculator, because I need them to know the steps they went through
That's why
before
you have to
they
keep
got.
typing these things
Yeah.
out, right?